Hey everyone, this video is going to help you understand the trends shaping the final expense life insurance market, but also give you more confidence in the final expense market for the long haul. All right, we've got a lot of data to share with you today. We're going to go over stuff that's going to show you people are aging, right? We all know those statistics. I'm going to go over them just real quickly. Funeral costs are rising. Going to go over those stats, and most Americans don't have the savings to cover it. You put all that together in our demographic, and it's a primer for just a great next 15 to 25 years. I'm going to go over that as well. Okay. And then I'm going to show you guys the final expense market growth drivers behind the surging trend of baby boomers buying final expense life insurance. Okay. This is important data that will give you the confidence in the market and maybe convince some of you to jump into final expense sales as well. But I think everyone needs to understand the overall market and where it's headed. And I'm going to go over the data behind it here with a few slides. Okay, so let's dig in here. Let's start with the obvious. Let me get these slides up here. Okay, so people are getting older, right? The US Census Bureau says that by 2030, 1 in 5 Americans will be 65 or older. By 2040, that number is going to jump from around 60 million people to 80.8 million seniors. That's where I came up with the 15 to 25 years, because I think in 2050, that number is supposed to be even higher. Okay. Guys, that's not a market. That's a tidal wave of potential clients here. Okay. We've all heard the data, like 10 to 12,000 people turning 65 every single day. But what does this actually mean for you guys? It means more seniors are going to be in our demographic, meaning more demand for final expense policy. It's as simple as that. Okay. And guys, life expectancy today is at 76.4 years old and increasing. That number keeps going up. So I put this stat here because as life expectancy grows, final expense life insurance becomes more attractive. So hear me out here. Okay, boomers, for example, who have term policies typically buy them and they expire in around age 60 to 75 because we're trained in the term side of things to tell our clients to buy term during your income earning years, right? So many term policies are expiring while entering their fixed retirement income earning years with nothing to cover their final expenses. So seniors are outliving their old policies and they need new coverage once they hit around 60 to 75 years old, okay? On top of that, they also face health challenges as they get older. And final expense life insurance is the only product they can qualify for. If somebody's procrastinated their entire life, which is what most of the people we're talking to, they haven't purchased coverage before, they procrastinated their whole life, and usually they have some health complications that they need to get around, right? And final expense life insurance is the only product that they can get, and we just need to show them that, okay? As boomers age, guys, they also see, they get up into their 70s, and the older that they get, the longer that they live. They see many of their friends and family pass, and they witness firsthand the burden it puts on their families, and they want to plan ahead. Okay. And even if they procrastinate their entire life so far in purchasing coverage, they want to do it now. And again, final expense life insurance is the only product that can help them. And that's huge, especially for this aging demographic. All right. So let's move on to the next slide here. Let's talk money. So the average funeral costs $7,000 to $12,000. Cremation still around 7,000, right? 6,970. This is all from the National Funeral Directors Association data. All right. And as you can see on this chart, cremation is now preferred over burials and will increase significantly because burials right now, they're just too expensive for people. With inflation, everything happening, it's just too expensive. And people are now, cremation is normalized now. Okay. So keep this in mind, guys, and make sure you're versed in how much cremations actually are when you factor everything in. Most people want cremation now. So we need to understand that when we're on our calls, because a lot of us are talking about burials and it's costing $10,000 to $12,000 and this and that, when most people are actually more interested in cremation. Okay, so that's data that you should be aware of, and you can just see the increase in over the years, the forecast and just how much more cremation is going to be preferred over burials. Traditional burials. Okay. And guys, these costs for burials and cremation, they're rising about 3 to 4% every single year. Now, here's a stat that it might make you do a double take, okay? 50% of Americans can't afford an unexpected $1,000 expense. All right, so imagine how families are going to handle a $10,000 funeral bill or a $6,000 cremation bill. Okay, they won't. Their families will be scrambling. So the data is absolutely clear here. Okay, the majority of boomers, they have a choice to make. They either burden their family with their final expenses when they pass, or they don't. And most people don't want to leave that burden. That's where final expense life insurance comes in. Okay, it's the best product that's affordable enough for someone on a fixed income, guaranteed to never increase in price, and it can cover someone with health issues. Okay. Now, who's buying? Let's look at the income of our demographic here. All right. So, look, I'm going to break it down by income levels because everyone who doesn't have money set aside for their final expenses needs this product. But people buy for different reasons. Okay. So, we have lower income families. I consider that the $25,000 to $50,000 range in this data here. They have a high need and they have low savings. Okay. So affordable final expense plans are the only option to cover their end of life expenses. All right. Then you have middle income families, 50 to 100K. They still remember 57% of Americans only have around, they couldn't afford $1,000 expense, right? Unexpected expense. So, 50 to $100,000, many lack savings for final expenses still. And they can afford moderately priced price final expense plans, higher premium plans. Okay. Then you have higher income families, 100K plus. Guys, these folks might be better suited for single premium whole life if they have savings earmarked for their final expenses. If they've already saved up, you want to put them in, you want to talk to them about single premium whole life. So it turns their earmarked savings immediately into more benefits for their family. So if you're not versed in single premium whole life, get versed on it when you come across these higher income families. All right. The takeaway here out of all this, don't assume who needs final expense. I don't care if you're low income or high income. Everyone without permanent life insurance that they already have, that they bought a long time ago, whether it's guaranteed universal life or something else, they need final expense life insurance. Okay. And that is a massive opportunity for us. And it's a great place to be in when you factor that in. Okay. So now let's talk about why final expense is such a great space to be in, a great market. Okay. These are the key market growth drivers here. Okay. We have steady growth. We have sustained consumer interest. Final expense sales are increasing 3 to 5% annually, and it's expected to continue with the aging baby boomer generation, right? Boomers, they already see the value in life insurance. We went over this in a previous video, right? But 50% of baby boomers already have some form of life insurance. They see the value of life insurance. That is massive, okay? Combine that with the wave of boomers aging into our target demographic, you just need to show them why final expense is the right solution at this stage in their lives, okay? You also have cremation and burial costs that keep rising. That's great for our market, okay? I know it's terrible for seniors out there, but for us, there's no signs of it slowing down. This places more financial pressure on the family, and that's makes final expense life insurance even more necessary, okay? Because that burden is going to keep just stacking up on them, all right? It's terrible for the demographic, especially because Social Security income isn't increasing as much as inflation as much. I know they're getting some small increases, but it's not keeping up, right? But on the positive side of Social Security benefits, right? It is a reliable income source. And final expense life insurance companies can drop the day they received their Social Security deposit. Now, think about that for a second, guys. I can't think of a single industry that can time their payments when people get paid. When you go buy something on your credit card, maybe it's a recurring plan or whatever, your card could expire. Your card, well, it will eventually expire. Your card will, it may hit its limit, right? But here, They get a guaranteed payment every single month, and we're pulling out the money right the day they get that payment if you use true Social Security billing. Okay. Think about that for a second. How lucky are we to be in an industry that does that? I don't think many agents appreciate just how lucky we are to have Social Security billing and to time it with the product that we sell here. Okay. So, and it's especially important because, a lot of these seniors are on a fixed income. So this is going to help with keeping these policies in force. So on top of that, guys, there's more awareness than ever. You have social media ads. The data of, seniors are spending a lot of time on Facebook, on social media, even TikTok. Okay. TV commercials. We run them. You have, the Colonial Pens, you have the Globe Lights, you have all these different, you know, final expense life insurance companies, flooding their TV. And you see them on social media. You have financial literacy programs that are taking off for seniors. They teach seniors the importance of end of life planning, and it's flooding our demographic. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Okay. You don't have to convince most people this is a solution to their problem. They already see it. You need to convince them that you are the person that's going to help them, that they can trust you, that you're putting them with the right company. Like that's what we have to do here. But the trend, like the awareness of the product is growing, and it's going to continue to keep growing. It's going to continue to be, something that's more accepted because of the, how many people are own final expense life insurance and the growing trend with it. Okay. The awareness is just going to get better, and it'll make it easier for us, and just a great growth trend in the market. Okay. And guys, more insurance products are entering the space. Sure, there's some fringe carriers that that have left the space. I think 4 carriers in the last year, but that's mostly because they didn't understand the market. But more final expense plans are coming to market consistently, and the incumbent carriers, they're making things easier, and they're fully committed to this market. They're making changes, to help agents sell it more effectively and help their policyholders. Okay. And telesales, guys, telesales is getting deeper penetration into the market. Okay. 85% of baby boomers are researching life insurance online. You went over that stat, I think, in a video last month. And with voice signatures, text to sign, instant approvals, guys, final expense has never been easier to sell. When you look if you look 10 years ago and, on final expense plans that were on the market, none of these options existed. Okay. For you to text to sign, for this voice sign, that stuff didn't exist back then. It is so easy. Carriers are becoming a lot. They're catering to this demographic because they see the trend of people buying over the phone. Okay. Convenience is king when it comes to final expense life insurance, especially with fixed income seniors, right? We need to make the process as simple as possible. Carriers are doing that for us. And we're able to get people covered in one call. We're making it a simple process for them. All right. Okay. Let's wrap this thing up here. So, people are aging. Okay. Funeral costs, they're rising. And most Americans don't have savings to cover it. Okay. The data shows sustained consumer interest and awareness of final expense life insurance is at an all-time high. The awareness is bigger than it's ever been. Okay. The final expense market opportunity for agents and agencies is stable. It's growing, and it will be incredible. It'll be an incredible income opportunity for the next 15 to 25 years. So guys, we're riding the wave, and you should seriously consider it too. All right. Hope this helped you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.